Oh, beautiful. Oh, that was even better.
Hey, yeah. Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie, and today we're cork popping 2 bottles of Pinhook. Nope.
Well, today we've got something that's a bit of a treat in this neck of the woods because this brand is not available in Oregon. This is Pinhook, and it is MGP whiskey from Indiana that is then aged at Castle and Key in Kentucky. We found these 2 bottles in Kentucky. We have a bourbon and a rye here. We were going to talk just a little bit about each one. We'll do a quick tasting, but honestly, we were just excited to get into these bottles and wanted to share our first thoughts with you. We cork popped both of them today, and what makes these bottles unique is that they are vintages, and we love this sort of thing. The bourbon that we got is vintage 3 of 9 in the True Single Barrel Vertical Series, which follows a group of barrels as they age from 4 to 12 years old. The rye is vintage number 2, and let's talk quickly about where we got this bourbon from. This is a Justin's House of Bourbon Louisville single barrel pick, and it's 119 proof, aged 6 years, and we got this one for $75. Then on the other side here, we've got this Pinhook Rye that is the Liquor Barn single barrel pick, 109.4 proof, 5 years aged, $66 is what we paid for that one.
Ironically, when we were on Justin's House of Bourbon, we tried the rye first, loved it, said, I want that bottle, show us where it's at, and the lady goes, oh, sorry, that's not available anymore.
Right, yeah, we asked for the bourbon, they served us the rye and then told us we couldn't have it. So as soon as we saw the rye at the Liquor Barn, we said, well, hopefully it's just as good as that one is. These are obviously both single barrels, so your experience will likely vary from what we're going to experience here. Let's start with the bourbon here. This is Bourbon War. They name each one of these vintages after a horse apparently, and Bourbon War was 16.0 hands in terms of horse size. Do you think it's really that? I actually don't know anything about horses. Go ahead and let us know. What does 16 hands mean? I think it sounds like it's a big horse. If I had to guess, that's a big horse.
A sizable horse.
Yeah. I'm already going to the nose here. I could smell it. I can smell the flavors coming off of this thing already. Wow, it's fruity, oaky, and spicy.
Yep, I got that same exact thing. I was going to say a little oaky, quite spicy.
Yeah. Well, there's vanilla showing up now. We haven't done one of these just like straight up tastings in a long time.
We haven't.
This is actually kind of nice to just sit back and enjoy some whiskey with 5,000 of our closest friends.
Cheers. There's something a bit grainy both about the nose and the palate there. But it's nice fruitiness comes in with that spice.
I'm looking for a mash bill on this because I feel like there's a beautiful rye spice here. And if it's not rye spice and I'm dead wrong, I don't know what would be giving it that sort of flavor. But I think that might be the grain that you're talking about.
Yeah. This
is really delightful. The vanilla is so rich and creamy. The mouthfeel is fantastic. It's not overly viscous. It's almost fuzzy. That's gonna sound crazy, I know, but
it's creamy and fuzzy?
Yeah, almost like it wants to cling, even though it's not super thick, it's a little bit thin. That coats beautifully, that's great.
Did you say this one was 116?
119.
Oh, 119, it drinks 119. She's pretty toasty.
Not over it though.
No,
it
and not in a bad way,
point.
But it is warm.
It drinks its proof point. What do you think, bud?
He started purring, so I think he's on board.
Yeah, did you say something's fuzzy? Can I rub my head against it?
It's a little spicy, so it almost drinks like a rye. Like there's some sort of peppery, peppercorn type deal going on there. But I agree also with I'm very agreeable today.
How about that?
I find this very creamy.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is incredible. I think I'm getting fruit here, but it's like, I don't know if it's part of that rye note that I'm getting as well, but it's a tingle of like raspberry. I even think I got some peaches on this at some point, which that's not something I get all the time.
Yeah.
But it's lingering. It's almost like a caramelized peach. This is outstanding.
I like it.
Very good bottle. This is, wow. Well, Justin's House of Bourbon picked this, and it would seem they know what they're doing.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, well done.
I very much enjoy it. I liked the nose. The palate is wonderful. I love
agree.
like the creamy finish on it. I like the oak presence. I like the spicy yet sweet that you get there.
Yeah, the balance is great. I think that the proof point suits it perfectly.
Yeah.
And on the finish, that fruit, there's still a hint of the raspberry hanging around, but it's mostly a little bit of cinnamon, a nice spice, a warmth, and that caramel hanging around.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
I like it.
I really like this bottle. I wish that we could get more of it locally, but that is a brand that, well, now we're going to get onto the rye, but so far, so good. This bourbon's fantastic. I love it.
I am actually very anxious to see about the rye because we liked that so much and then we couldn't get it. It was like just right through your fingers.
Right.
And so we just picked one up at the next place we saw. So let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. All right, Jules, tell us a little bit about this rye.
All right, so it's aged 5 years, selected by Liquor Barn. The horse name is Tiz Rye Time.
Tiz Rye Time.
Tiz Rye Time.
Tis Rye Time.
It is.
Tis this moment. This very moment, tis rye time.
Tiz Rye Time. And tis 16.1 hands, whatever that means.
I think it's bigger.
Was it the other one, 16.1?
16.0.
Oh, tis a handsier gal.
Well, you put your hoof in it right there. All right. So this is MGP whiskey again, and the rye, the famed MGP 95.5, 95% rye, 5% malted barley in the mash bill here. So let's see what Pinhook can do with it with their Castle and Key aging.
This is a nice nose.
It smells great.
Ironically, I said ironically twice already in this video.
3 times now.
But this nose smells less like a rye, and the other one smelled more like a rye.
Now that I revisit glass 1, it does smell more like a bourbon, but there's definitely a high rye mash bill at play there.
You're right. There's a little apple cider on that nose too on glass 1. Okay, glass 1, the bourbon.
Oh, the rye here is very fruity.
Wow.
It smells like those little Dole cups, the little fruit cups.
Oh, I was thinking there was a little perfuminess in there, which sometimes you do get with ryes.
Sure, it's big.
It really is just a sweet and spicy.
You got sweet and spicy. I've got big and fruity. The sweet and spicy, big and fruity. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Wow, that goes from fruity to spicy in a
Wow,
hurry.
that's different.
Yes.
I need another sip to figure out what I'm drinking here.
That's definitely not a bourbon. A spicy, some sort of cinnamon coated fruit of some type. It's extremely flavorful. Oh wow, it coats the tongue completely too.
I like your fruit cup reference. What's in the fruit cup? Is it apricots or something in there?
Yeah, it's usually like peaches and pears.
Peaches and cherries.
Little red cherries.
It kind of in the juice. It really has that kind of flavor in there.
It has like an orange peel on the finish here. An orange peel and vanilla, almost like a creamsicle finish. That's very nice.
Yes, a creamsicle, yes.
There's also a nice caramely sweetness here, almost like a toasted sugar. It's just fleeting though. It doesn't hang around for all that long. It's the fruit sweetness that hangs around forever.
So it's interesting, the rye that we have, which is obviously a single barrel, the sweetness comes forward well ahead of the rye spice, in my opinion.
But the spice comes through like a wave.
It does, but I would be fooled into not thinking this was a rye.
It actually reminds me kind of a lot of rare breed rye in that way. How rare breed, this citrus is more lemon peel, this is more orange zest, but it's the same sort of idea of that rare breed rye where the sweetness is all up front and then they get that wash of spice on the back end. I might be fooled into thinking that this was wild turkey if I didn't know better, simply because the experience is very, very similar. By the way, the longer we sit with it here, I don't know if you're noticing this, but there is that wood paneling sort of, kid from the 80s sort of smell from your family room creeping in here. On the palate, on the finish, that sort of really, really old dry wood, not in a bitter way at all. Totally sweet, totally balanced. Just like everything else, my mouth is watering. This is a very, very good whiskey. These are both fantastic.
And we haven't talked about it, but this is a 109.4 proof bottle. It does not drink hot at all. And maybe it's because we just had this at 119 and so that kind of numbs things up, but it sips beautifully, like beautifully easy, not unfortunately, but fortunately or unfortunately. Like there's just a nice undertone of heat there too. I like them.
Yeah, the proof points on both of these are great.
Wildly
They're
different.
Totally different. Both very well balanced. I think it's great. I'm very, very happy with it. I think the least favorite thing about these bottles to me is the wax on
Taking
top.
off the wax,
Yeah.
which Phil had to do.
Yeah, that's the only thing that
Only tick.
Yeah, it's the only thing
Tick
that I
mark.
don't like about these whiskeys.
Yeah.
These are fantastic. I'm really, we
pleased.
waited a long time after we brought these home. I'm glad that we finally got the opportunity to open them up, and I wasn't thinking that it was going to be a very momentous occasion. Why would we do a video for this? But we wanted to do a nice tasting here early in the season, something unusual that we don't usually do on the channel. I'm really glad that we did, because this has been a very surprising day. These whiskeys are fantastic, and now I'm quite jealous of you out there who are able to get these quite easily. If you see it and you've been avoiding it, maybe because of the price or
Yeah.
because of the silly wax top or whatever it might be, or maybe you're waiting for your favorite horse to show up on one of these labels, I don't know. But these are very good bottles, and I'm very satisfied. I'm pleased. These are great.
I'm happy. Worth the wait.
Well, there you have it. I think, gun to your head, which one are you choosing? What's your favorite?
I actually like the bourbon.
I do too.
Oh, we
There you
never
have it.
agree.
We never agree.
Perfect.
Well, let us know, have you tried Pinhook? What do you think of it? Have they produced a bottle that has your favorite horse on it yet or not? Let us know what you think.
Let us know what hands means.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll probably look it up after this, but I'd love to know if you know.
Well, from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bourbon Ben, we'll look it up later.
Yeah.